Good afternoon, my friends. My name is Melissa from Melissa's Struggling Walk with Jesus. I am here to share the Word of God with you, and I am using the Amplified Holy Bible and the Navigator's Bible reading plan to do this. Today's reading will probably go in multiple videos because I am reading Deuteronomy chapter 22 through 26. And so I don't want a really long video, so I'll probably cut this in two parts. So I'm going to start in with Deuteronomy chapter 22, and the title is Various Laws, and it says, "You shall not see your countryman's ox or his sheep straying away or being stolen and ignore your duty to help them. You shall certainly take them back to him." Check out Proverbs chapter 24, verse 12. Verse 2. "If your countryman is not nearby, or you do not know him, you shall bring the animal to your house, and it shall stay with you until he searches for it. Then you shall return it to him. You shall do this with his donkey, or with his garment, or with anything that your countryman has lost and you have found. You are not allowed to ignore your duty to help them. You shall not see your countryman's donkey or his ox fall down along the road and ignore your duty to help them. You shall certainly help him lift it up. A woman shall not wear a man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is utterly repulsive to the Lord your God. If you happen to come upon a bird's nest along the road, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the mother bird is sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young. You shall certainly let the mother go, but you may take the young for yourself, so that it may be well with you and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, you shall make a railing, a parapet around. Your flat roof, so that you do not bring the guilt of innocent blood on your house if someone falls from it. You shall not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed, or everything produced by the seed which you have sown, and the yield of the vineyard will become defiled and banned for use. You shall not plow with an ox, a clean animal, and a donkey, an unclean animal, together. Check out 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 14 through 16. Verse 11. You shall not wear a fabric made of wool and linen blended together, a fabric pagans believed to be magical. Check out Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 18, and Revelations chapter 19, verse 8. Verse 12. You shall make tassels for yourself on the four corners of your outer garments with which you cover yourself. Check out Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 through 40. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 22, starting with verse 13, the title is Laws on Morality, and it says, "If any man takes a wife and goes into her and then scorns and hates her, and charges her without cause with shameful behavior, and publicly defames her and says, 'I took this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find in her evidence of virginity,' then the young woman's father and her mother shall get and bring out the evidence of her virginity to the elders of the city at the gate where court is held. The father of the young woman shall say to the elders, 'I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, but he hates her and has turned against her. And behold, he has made baseless charges against her, saying, I did not find in your daughter the evidence of her virginity. But this is the evidence of my daughter's virginity.' And they shall spread out the garment before the elders of the city. Then the elders of that city shall take the man and reprimand him. And they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give it to the father of the young woman, because he publicly defamed a virgin of Israel. And she shall remain his wife. He is not allowed to divorce her as long as he lives. But if this charge is true, that the evidence of virginity was not found in the young woman, then they shall bring her out to the doorway of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death, because she has committed a deliberate sin in Israel by playing the prostitute in her father's house. So you shall remove the evil from among you. If a man is intimate with a woman who is another man's wife, they shall both be put to death, the man who lay with the woman and the woman. So you shall remove the evil from Israel. If a young woman who is a virgin is engaged, legally betrothed to a man, and another man finds her in the city and is intimate with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city and stone them to death. The young woman, because she did not cry out for help, though she was in the city, and the man, because he has violated his neighbor's promised wife. So you shall remove the evil from among you. However, if the man finds the girl who is engaged, legally betrothed, in the open field, and seizes her, and is intimate with her by force, then only the man who lies with her shall be put to death. But you shall do nothing to the young woman. She has committed no sin worthy of death. For this is the same as when a man attacks his neighbor and murders him. When he found her in the open field, the engaged girl may have cried out for help, but there was no one to hear and save her. And if a man finds a woman, or if a man finds a girl who is a virgin, who is not engaged, and seizes her and is intimate with her, and they are discovered, then the man who was intimate with her shall give 50 shekels of silver to the girl's father, and she shall become his wife, because he has violated her. He can never divorce her. A man shall not take his father's former wife, so that he will not expose his father's wife. That is all of chapter 22. All right, in chapter 22, verse 1, other literature has hid yourself from them, and so throughout the chapter, instead of the word ignore. In chapter 22, verse 10, there's a little thing that says, as a practical matter, the two different species would not work well together, particularly pulling a plow or a wagon, etc. In verse 14, other literature brings upon her an evil name, whereas instead of publicly defames her. In verse 17, for example, a bloodstained bedsheet or an item of clothing from the wedding night. In verse 19, other literature has the word brought an evil name upon instead of the word publicly. In verse 22, other literature says found lying, and so throughout instead of the word intimate. In verse 26, other literature has his soul instead of him. Verse 29, other literature has all his days instead of never divorce her. And in verse 30, in Hebrew, this is chapter 23, verse 1, changing the versification throughout the following chapter. Also in verse 30, other literature has uncover his father's skirt instead of expose his father's wife. So that is all of chapter 22 in the book of Deuteronomy.